Hey, it worked finally. Thank goodness. I was about to have a panic attack if that wasn't working. So, alrighty. Well, live, and makes it in front of his students and parents. So it looks like we're having, oh boy. Looks like we might be having some connection issues during this. I'm just going to turn off the music that I was listening to in hopes that we can keep that able to go. Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just need to get right into dinner this evening. Hello, according to the comments, apparently all the Carringtons and Silas Miller. That would make 1, 2, 3. Oh man, my connection. It says it's unstable. I really hope this is going well. It depends on whether or not I get enough popularity, and I want to keep going through. So, but I'm very excited about tonight because tonight we are making chicken taquitos, okay? And these aren't like your typical taquitos. You think of taquitos, they're rolled really tight. They're nice and thin around. We're actually going to make them a little bit thicker. If you actually look at the original recipe, it's called chubby. Let's see, there we go. I'm just gonna, even if it is working and I just look awkward pausing, I am just going to take pause every time I see that it says my connection's unstable. So I got this recipe from a blog called Cinnamon Spice Everything Nice. You can check out that recipe in the description of this video, but we are going to get started. So I am going to tilt my camera down and we're gonna hang out down here. Hi guys. So, there we go. All right. You can cook your own if you want to. I have found that rotisserie chicken works just as well. And so you can do whatever you please with that. Okay. So shredded chicken. You will also need for this recipe salsa, sour cream, cream cheese, regular shredded cheese, salt, pepper. Is a little bit better of a crunch in my opinion. And then obviously you are going to need a pan with a good bit of oil for frying. So we are going to get right into it. So I have already, like I said, I've already cooked up my chicken. This is about 1.5 cups. I think the original recipe calls for 3 cups, but full disclosure, I made some mix earlier this week. It's in the fridge, and so I have the recipe, so I can have half Wednesday and some for today. So first thing we want to do is just mix everything together. It's a pretty simple recipe. Chop up the spinach, shred the chicken, throw everything in a bowl, mix it up, stuff it inside a tortilla, and fry that tortilla. It's pretty Warcraft. It's Minecraft, actually. Oh no, I'm unstable again. I don't know if you heard that, but it was it's Minecraft, not World of Warcraft, which I think is really funny. So, and Wilson, no, I will never do a cooking ASMR. Okay, so chicken. Shred it up nice and simple. You can do this with any kind of spice mix. I went ahead, like I said, I cooked this myself. So earlier today, I threw this in an Instant Pot with some salt, pepper, chili powder, cayenne, garlic powder, and cumin. A little bit of water, cooked that off, and shredded it up after it was done cooking. So, 1 second. Hey, sweetie. How much stuff are you doing on that? And see. Back there. Yeah, just close out those. It's just going to keep saying that, isn't it? We'll pause. Okay, so I guess we're going to adopt a new stance of just pausing and letting it ride out while we're doing this. I would try switching my Wi-Fi, but I'm going to try that right now. So, cream cheese. This is a pretty boring part because this is where everything just goes in the bowl. That is if I can get it open. There we go. Cream cheese into the bowl. There we go. Cream cheese wrapper in the trash. And again, this is where it gets real easy peasy, mainly because it is a dump and mix recipe. Up in there, I'm going to stir this up because there's a little bit of liquid in the top. Y'all know how sour cream is. You use it the first time and it looks all pristine and nice, and then you use the second big dollop in. Simple as that. Okay, and I'm actually going to keep this spoon to the side. We'll use that for stuffing. Salsa, in we go as well. Nice, and I like a restaurant style salsa. You can use any salsa you prefer. Those are going in the fridge just because I don't want them to get too soft. Okay, shredded cheese in. Luckily, like I said, I did half the recipe. I normally do half a bag, so that's an easy measurement. For the spinach, I first off like to use baby spinach, and what I like to do is get, I would say, a decent handful. Again, the great thing about recipes is they're kind of just guidelines. So if you don't like spinach, take the spinach out. Pretty simple. So what I like to do with the spinach is I like to go through and just take off the stems of all of these bigger leaves. It's still going to leave us with enough spinach to make a dish out of. I just would rather not crunch through but the stems, on the other hand, still leave desirable, for lack of a better word, crunch. And so you get to watch Mr. Bent perform the monotonous task of doing this. Let's take a look at that chat. See, if I have the bag, I mean context, not the bag itself. Yes, I know, I just threw the bag in. That's fine. Let's see. I was listening to an a cappella group that one of Mrs. Bent's distant cousins is a part of, and they do one of their albums here recently. So shout out to John Music. Oh. Shout out to John Music and the rest of Chapter 6. So listening to their good old album, Color by Number. Okay, none of those have stems. One more big stem there. All right, so big pile of stemless spinach. Where do the stems go? I am so glad you asked. The trash. As I like to kind of pile them all up on themselves. And for this, we are going to finely chop it. And this is kind of what makes it disappear into the taquito mix. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pile everything up here. And then as best I can, I'm going to kind of roll it onto itself. Make sure everything's nice and tight there. And then with a sharp knife, just go in and thinly slice. And as you slice it, everything the same, all facing the same direction, and just roughly go back and crisscross. And then what I like to do is I just like to continue repositioning on the board and then just going over with a quick hand. So reposition, get everything back in the center, find those big chunks, and cut them down. The big chunks, and I have found when I chop it, have a tendency to move to the side, so you always want to readjust and move them. Alrighty. Also a good acapella. Well, I don't know. Have I listened to any Take 6? I don't know if I have. I'll have to look into my music library and see. Alrighty, I would say that is decently finely chopped spinach. Now, what's going on here? Wedding present. Yes, they were a wedding present. I love this knife set. This is such a great knife set. It was actually, oh man, who gave it to us? I want to say it was my voice teacher from college. Gave those to. Hey, honey. Mrs. Ben, who gave us the knife set for our wedding? That's what I thought. Yeah, it was my voice teacher from college. So very fun. Cool. All right, just making sure I'm caught up with the chat. So, finally chopped spinach into my mix there. Boom, boom. Now. This is the really hard part. And by really your cream cheese beforehand, you're going to have to take some extra time to get it into smaller, manageable chunks. Which I just take it against the side of the bowl and run my fork through it. Now, again, with this is just a base. You can adjust this as you want. If you want less spinach, you can take some out. If you want more, put some in. If you want to add more spices than what I add, which reminds me, now is a really good time to season. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. If this, as I was saying, if this were for just me, I would probably put a little cayenne in there, a little crushed red pepper. But I love my wife, and my wife does not love spice. And so we make things seasoned, not spicy. But hey, that's okay. So that is what we are working with. Bless you. Oh, geez. Okay. That is what we're working with. Kind of looks like chicken salad. Okay. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And now we are going to get to phase 2 of this whole process, which is wrapping. Now, so what I've also found, though, is that corn tortillas have a tendency to be super brittle, even out of the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's see, 5, 6. I'm going to take my tortillas. I'm going to grab a damp paper towel. While that's happening, I am going to begin preheating my skillet of oil. I'm also going to make a holding vessel for my taquitos before they are wrapped. Okay? So, this next phase is pretty simple. We're going to take a dollop of our taquito filling. We're going to throw it into these lovely corn tortillas. Wrap it up with a little sheet on it. Let's see. Okay, there's my sound back. They should dry out a pan right on the side, and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to put that up there. All right. Tortillas just came out of the microwave. They are nice and pliable now because they have a little bit of extra moisture in them. So next, I would call this a heaping tablespoon of filling. Okay, right on one edge of the taquito. And the reason you put it on the edge is because that is going to help when you roll it, because you want to roll it as tight as possible. And if you get a little filling on your hands, that is 100% okay. That's why we wear the apron, and that's why we have towels and such. Okay. Now I'm going to try and do this at a fairly decent pace because I want to make sure that I don't get my oil too hot. Now, luckily, when cooking this, everything is cooked. So the chicken is cooked, and then everything else is edible the way it is. And so all we're really looking for whenever we are putting these in the pan is just adding a little bit of crunch to the tortilla. So I am heating up my oil right now. I don't normally temp it. I would assume we're looking at the ballpark of 325 to 350 degrees. So what is going on in my chat? Heart, Grace, Alec, Ronnie, I have no idea. Whoa. And the other great thing, as long as I have connection so I can explain this. The great thing about this recipe is if you actually look at the ingredients, all this is fairly cheap. I'm fairly certain I can make a full batch of this, which would yield, I would say, depending on how much you fill it, I would say in the ballpark of 25 to 30 taquitos. If you do, it goes from a really good meal and some leftovers for less than $20. Or if you're a party of one or someone who is meal prepping, I have found that after you cook them, you can actually throw them in a Ziploc and put them in the freezer, and they store for a really long time. Take them out and just re-microwave them. What is going on in my chat? Oh, well. Okay, so these taquitos are nice and wrapped. I am going to check my oil. I think it is hot itself, and so you don't have stuff falling out. I need to re-roll this one. This was awful. There we go. There we go. And you want to hear a little bit of a sizzle whenever you drop the taquito in. If you're not hearing anything, your oil's too cold. I have a lovely sizzle going on, which means that we are at a perfect temperature. Uh-oh. My taquito has unfolded. No worry, we should be okay. Should be. So I'm going to let those taquitos chill out each. I'm going to perform taquito surgery, hopefully close this up. That's not going to work. Uh-oh. Maybe that'll work. Don't know. Kind of scared about it. Actually, tell you what, my oil probably could have been a little bit hotter when I went in with those. What's going on in this chat? Good grief. Out. Nature of the beast. Alrighty. This first round of taquitos is done. The filling inside is nice and cooked through. And the tortillas on the outside are nice and crispy. I'm going to go in with the second round of taquitos now. Probably my oil, excuse me, was probably too cold. Good grief. What is happening in this chat? Now it's just like the Carrington family messing around in the chat. Oh boy. Ow. Ow. That one actually hurt. With those, the anticipation is killing me. Yeah, nice. Cool. Tell you what, Wilson, if you want this to become... I apparently also need better internet connection. Yeah, Grace, I know. All right. Hey, these are going to look a lot better than the ones I took out the first time. All right. And that's it. Chicken taquito done. Oil can go off there. You can strain that oil, use it for another fry if you want. I am going to bring one of these over to you so you can see the beauty. There we go. There is your chubby chicken taquito. Nice middle. Very, very excited to eat this. Goes great with what we're going to have it with some chips and salsa. Pretty pumped about that. And that is where I'm going to let you guys go tonight. Pretty simple episode this evening. Again, if you guys want me to continue doing this over the summer, let me know what you guys want to see me cook. Let your friends know about the channel. Shout out, subscribe, hit that bell, all you need to do. And I'm going to let you guys go. So have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to go enjoy dinner with my wife. Can't even talk. Bye, guys.